Anywho, we are live. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 28, 28 this time, of the Hot Stove Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, and I'm here with only one of my other co-hosts.
Howdy, partner.
Yeah, it's just the two of us right now. Mark is dead for all intents and purposes, and um, Josh is nowhere to be found.
He said he's had something to do on his way home from work. His sister had to get picked up from somewhere or something. I don't know. Something wild's going on.
Something crazy.
Mark's pulling a me a couple weeks back. He's dead.
That's true. You just didn't show up for the show a couple weeks ago. Also, Cup, Mike just texted me and said, if Kluber does this moments after I temper expectations to Cup, I'm going to shoot myself. Just got through having the conversation that maybe Kluber isn't all the way back because after his good starts against the Tigers and the Orioles, he's had a couple of hiccups recently. And here we are. Now, to be fair, the Rangers are a bottom five offense in Major League Baseball. So I guess
they've been playing pretty okay, though.
Yeah, so while we're recording, we'll also be on No watch. I had a couple of things going on here. Did that Bruins game finish?
No, I think they're going to go to double overtime.
Remember the game last year that went to like 6 overtimes or whatever?
Ugh, it's gross.
It was I was watching that game too. It was like 6 Lightning. I forgot who they might have been playing Boston.
No.
That was recent. I don't know if it was last year.
I remember the Lightning were playing in it, or maybe it was a Lightning.
Yeah.
No, it was an East Coast game because they pushed the start of the second game that night to the following afternoon because they were playing in the same arena.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It was Tampa Bay Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching. Oh yeah, because Junis Corposalo had like 97 saves or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
He had a playoff record for saves that night, if I remember correctly. Shocker, considering the game went to 5 overtimes anyway. But anywho, we got a couple things we're gonna get into tonight. If Josh ever shows up, we'll do trivia. If not, we'll save it for next week.
What? Oh, come on.
Unless the
3 points
wants to answer some trivia as well.
I won't get a single thing right.
So we got some people here watching. That's John. That's the Tatis hater, and that's Kenny. They're here watching me do the podcast, mostly because they were going to bully me into playing some euchre tonight, and then I forgot cards. So.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm sorry. Anywho, we're going to be talking NBA postseason. Is that Mike? That guy's fucking hot. We're going to be talking NBA postseason. We're going to be talking NBA postseason, right? I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. This show sucks. All right. It's never been good. Anywho, a couple of housekeeping notes. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Make sure to smash the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell as well, and leave a comment if you feel like commenting here on the YouTube side. So, Austin, since you're the one that's here, I'm going to give you reign at trivia tonight. All right?
That's huge for my comeback story.
Yeah, you are 41 points out from first place currently.
Yep.
Mark is sitting at 109. Josh is at 87, and you're at 68. So, Mark not being here for certain will definitely give you the opportunity to come back in some capacity. But all three of my trivia questions here are baseball questions. So we're going to start here. And I got a question about some home run dealings right here. All right. So first question here. There have been 2 home runs this season hit off of pitches that have been thrown 100 miles an hour or more. Who? And they were both hit by one player. One player has the only 2 home runs off of 100-mile-an-hour pitches. Who is that player that's hit those home runs?
I feel like I just watched Shohei Ohtani hit a nasty pitch out the other night, but that's going to be our first answer.
It's not Ohtani. What did you say, Cobb?
I said Acuna.
It's not Acuna. I will say that this player hit it. It was either yesterday. Yeah, it was last night. Was the second one.
Wow, that would make me say Ohtani even more. Didn't he just hit one like yesterday? All right.
Do not do it.
100-mile-an-hour pitches.
Yes.
How has that not been done more?
Yep, there have only been.
Doesn't everyone throw 100 miles an hour now?
Well, this is the thing. You think about it, like a lot of pitchers like max out and throw one pitch on occasion at that velocity. Like most pitchers are like 97, 98. I'll tell you the two pitchers who threw those pitches.
Okay.
Those pitchers were those. Well, we need to move the show along. We'll be here for an hour if we don't do that. The pitchers who threw those pitches are Jacob deGrom and Jose Alvarado. Reliever for the Phillies.
Wow. Ooh, I'm thinking about who hit a home run off of deGrom because, like, nobody hits a home run off deGrom.
This player did.
No. There's no way. I feel like, hear me out. There's no way I'd ever guess this player, but I have a weird feeling that some loser on the Marlins hit a home run off deGrom, because that's I would have known if it was somebody else hit a home run off a good deGrom pitch. So can I guess loser on the Marlins?
You need to be more specific than that.
I couldn't name a Marlin, so
not Jesus Aguilar.
Okay, well then it's done.
I don't think I could name another Marlin that hits the ball.
No, I can tell you the players on the Marlins. So if you can't name another Marlin, then I'm gonna have to call it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call it.
That's Jazz Chisholm.
Well, I'll take that as a win in my book. A mental win.
Current
next guess is gonna be Brian.
It certainly was not Brian Anderson. Current front runner probably for NL Rookie of the Year at the moment, unless I'm forgetting someone important. But yeah, Jazz Chisholm's been good. He just came off the IL yesterday, and in his first game back, hit a home run off of Jose Alvarado in like the 8th inning or whatever. Anywho, next trivia question here. There have been 2 pitchers this season with at least 6 quality starts who aren't striking out a batter per inning. 2 pitchers. Who are those pitchers?
6 quality starts total. That's a lot of quality starts for pitchers who only have like 7, 8 starts so far.
6 quality starts and less than a batter per inning.
I'm going to have to go out on a limb. My boy Matthew Boyd.
That's incorrect.
Shout out Casey Mize has 3 straight quality starts, but I don't think he has 6 total.
That's going to be a tough scene for him. Did you see what I don't even know who their loser manager is, but he said that he's going to start restricting his innings come like June.
Their loser manager. Ever heard of him? AJ Hinch?
He's a loser manager. I'll tell you that much.
He's bringing cheating back. I'm in on it.
It's 1 American League pitcher and 1 National League pitcher.
I can't. One guy I think of had 10 strikeouts last night. Zach Wheeler?
Not Zack Wheeler.
Jesus Christ. What are we talking about?
Real abstract shit right now.
This sounds like you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a Kevin Gaussman stat.
Not Kevin Gaussman. His strikeout rate is well over 9.
Everybody is. Nobody pitches well if they don't strike people out.
Well,
It's not possible.
Pitching well without striking people out.
No.
I'll tell you this. It's an American League West pitcher.
American League West.
League East pitcher.
Okay, there's no. DeGrom's the only good National League East pitcher, so let's get that out of the way right now. Now, hear me out. There's no way you would go 2 bum losers on the same Miami team. So I'm counting them out. Nola and Wheeler both strike too many people out. Obviously, anybody who pitches for Washington strikes too many people out, except that one bum.
Patrick Corbin.
No. The other bum. The guy who's been pitching well this season.
John Lester?
No. He's a different bum. He's only had a couple good games.
Okay, well, that probably takes him away from the whole 6 quality starts.
No, you don't know that. Oh, my God. I mean, what are we talking about here? It seems impossible.
American League and National League.
American League West. All right. Who doesn't strike people out? That sounds like an Oakland A's guy. Those guys don't strike anybody out.
I can't.
No, I got nothing. I quit. I quit all trivia.
All right. Well, this is going swimmingly. Usually when we have Mark.
Yeah. Well, when you have Mark just gets every answer, so it's fine.
All right. Well,
I got nothing.
Are Kyle Gibson and
that guy's a bomb.
And Sandy Alcantara. So yeah, so I did go with 2 losers on the same team.
Kyle Gibson gave up like 80 runs in his first start. That's why I didn't think about him.
6 straight quality starts.
Yeah, he's been great since, but he was a bomb.
Yeah, I remember he got lit the fuck up for like 9 runs opening day. It was not good. All right, this one is a real Mark question, to be honest with you.
Oh God.
It's a question about a current player, but I gotcha. Carlos Santana over this past weekend had a combo meal. And we've talked about that before on the show. What that means is they hit a home run and stole a base in the same game. So Carlos Santana obviously hasn't done that in a while. Put it that way. I want you to name one of these following 3 things: the wins leader, the home run leader, or the saves leader in the year that Carlos Santana last had a combo meal.
Rick Porcello.
Correct. Rick Porcello was the wins leader in 2016, which was the last year that Carlos Santana had a
He did it.
yes. No watch here. Corey Kluber just completed his no-hitter.
Damn it.
The record, by the way, for an entire season is 7. We are 6 weeks into the season with 6 of them. Great job,
absurd.
Rob Manfred. We love you. Anywho, now, Austin, just to round this out here, do you by chance know who the home run leader or the saves leader in 2016 were?
2016 home run leader, was that Stanton's year?
No, that was 2017.
Shit. 2016. I definitely wouldn't know the saves leader, and that's something Mark would 100% know. Home run leader before Stanton. Nobody knows because the person who was the home run leader that year hit like 30 home runs because he was a bomb loser.
He hit 47, and it was Mark Trumbo.
Oh, he was a bomb loser, though.
Yes, that's true. And then the saves leader was Uris Familia.
Oh, so the whole thing was 3 bombs.
Yes, he had 51 saves for the A's that year. All right, so we will move on. Anywho, that's been trivia. Let's just...
I'll take the point.
Yeah, you got a point there. Yes, Rick Porcello. That was the year he won the Cy Young with 21 wins. Didn't deserve it because he's not that good of a pitcher.
Whoa.
Whole thing, right? Well, Rick Porcello sucks. So, all right, Austin. I don't think there's really much sense in going through every playoff matchup here in the NBA, especially when we don't know what all of them are going to be.
Yeah.
We had the Eastern Conference play-in games last night. So the Celtics will be playing the Nets in the first round. By the way, did you see the Celtics fans at the Garden chanting, "We want the Net, we want Brooklyn"?
Yeah, that's questionable.
I think it was Rob Perez, resident guy who follows me on Twitter, quote tweeted that with just the picture of the Vanderbilt fans saying, "We want Bama." Well, if you remember that year, it was when they weren't really that good, but they were waxing someone. Said, "We want Bama." The following week, they played Bama, and they were down 52-0 going into the fourth quarter. So,
I mean, they got to hype themselves up somehow, right? I mean, Brad Stevens just came out and said, "Yeah, I mean, as a fan of the sport, I don't think we're beating Brooklyn."
Yeah, that's not good. It's a really good vote of no confidence from your coach going into your playoff series. So I don't know. I think we can kind of telegraph how that series is going to go, to be perfectly honest with you. But the winner of Indiana and Washington is going to play the Sixers. I tend to think that Indiana won't necessarily get bowled over like the Wizards would.
Yeah. It depends who ends up being able to play for Indiana, but yeah.
Yeah. At the very least, they play tough on the court. right?
Yeah.
And we've seen before against the Sixers that playing tough tends to give them fits a little bit. The Sixers don't necessarily have the toughest skin in the NBA.
I do think Miles Turner would turn that series on its head. If he
in what sense?
was,
You think
because I think that interior wise he would give Embiid struggles. I mean, Embiid obviously would just be able to shoot over him most of the game, but if you're forcing Embiid to play that style of basketball, I think it could be helpful.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Do we know if Turner's playing?
I think he's going to be out. I think LeVert will be back if they beat the Wizards, but yeah, Turner will be out. I think, what's his name? TJ Warren just never came back.
He's been out the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't imagine that is going well.
I'd reckon the Sixers just kind of handle whoever really they played, but
yeah. So aside from that, what are you thinking is, let's say, the biggest storyline to watch out of the Eastern Conference? To me, it's Milwaukee.
Yeah, I mean, I think if storyline and just pressure is Giannis. I think that entire team. He just signed his new extension because they were going to help him and bring more players in, and if they just get bounced in the first round, that's not good.
Yeah. Especially
simply.
Did you see what Drew Holiday said yesterday? I think it was like
no.
Talk about their matchup coming up this weekend, or game one's on Saturday. And he was talking. He was like, we just have more talent than them. Blah blah blah. And my first response to that was, yeah.
What?
We had more talent than Miami last year too. We know how that series went.
I mean, do they? I mean, that's definitely. That's at least arguable.
Yeah.
Miami has a lot of talent.
Yeah. And I don't think the argument is fair to be like, oh yeah, we have more talent. End of story. Because they had more talent. Even if you want to make that argument, they had more talent last year, and he blew the doors off of them.
Yep.
In a series that was not even remotely close. So, I think it'll be fun. It'll be high theater.
I kind of like the Heat again, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I apologize. I'm going to take this and move the computer outdoors here so I have a better table to sit on or sit at.
Love it. That's passion.
Yeah, because it was hurting my back hunching over in that chair. So we'll hope the internet sticks even as I move outside. But yeah, no, I don't know. I still tend to I kind of like Miami in that series.
I really like Bam. I like his defense, and I think he's starting to get a little bit swagger and confidence.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a nightly occurrence that he dunks all over another human.
Yeah.
And I think we saw it last year. In the postseason that Bam specifically is the kind of defender that can take Giannis almost entirely out of the game.
Yeah. Because even the shots that Giannis they're letting him take, he's still going to get a good hand up on him.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be those wide open things where they just go shoot it. I dare you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that series should be exciting. I tend to think Miami's a little more inconsistent this year. But even then, they've had the best record in basketball this month.
Yeah.
So they seem to be heating up at the right time, no pun intended. So I don't know. I think this game goes late, or the series goes late. I don't anticipate it being a 5-game series like it was the first time around. Probably 6 or 7. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me, I think I'd probably still lean Milwaukee in terms of winning the series. It's not confident. I think it might be the closest of the first round series to me, or at least, or maybe I'm underestimating the Hawks in that sense. But I think in terms of competitive nature of it, to me, it'll be the most evenly matched.
I agree. But if anyone knows me, I'm a Giannis hater.
Yeah.
I like hoopers, and Giannis ain't a hooper.
Giannis is not. You know who is a hooper?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That'd probably be the most fun series if I had to pick one. I mean, obviously we don't know every matchup, but really what we're missing is the 8-1s. So, yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking about this Knicks Hawks series?
I love the Knicks in this series. I don't know why. I just think there's some. I think they're going to give Trae Young fits and force him to take shots that his team has already come out and said they hate when he takes them.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it anyways because, he's Trae Young. He makes them sometimes. And I just like the way they're being coached, the way they're playing basketball, how hard they're playing. And they're just playing good basketball.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I don't think I've really watched any Hawks basketball this year. So, candidly, I'm not sure I can give an accurate read on how they're playing right now.
I've watched a bit. I mean, Clint Capella doing Clint Capella things. He's going to get a 15 and 15. That's just who he is. Bogdanovich is playing really well recently, scoring well. Trae Young is just, I don't know. When he's a playmaker, they play really well. When he starts just jacking from 40 feet, it's bad. You could see players on the team just stand there and just shake their head like they don't like him very much when he does that. So I guess it depends what kind of Trae Young you get. You get Steve Nash or you get Steph Curry, Trae Young. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, I think there's still a level, and it's given, right? Trae Young's only 20 years old, 21 maybe.
Yeah.
I think there's still a level of maturity that needs to develop in his game, which is perfectly fine, right? Like the Hawks are accurately built for that moving forward. So even if they don't make it out of the first round, and I don't anticipate they do, I do think the Knicks win.
How crazy is that, by the way? The Knicks. We're talking about the Knicks winning a first-round playoff series.
New York Knicks, the 4 seed.
Unbelievable.
Moving forward to the second round, I don't think it's inconceivable to see a world where the Knicks beat the Sixers in the second round.
I don't think that's crazy either.
Like I said, I won't pick it. I would pick
Dude,
the series.
Knicks Nets would be the most unreal finals. New York would be insane.
That would be crazy. I might have to go to a game.
Yeah, you might have to drop $5,000 to go to a Knicks game.
Oh, come on. I'll drop $3,000 and go to a game at the Barclays.
Yeah.
That would be insane. But yeah, I don't know. I also tend to think that a team like Miami, if they do make it past Milwaukee, is a team that could give Brooklyn fits.
Yeah. I think any team that really defends pretty well is going to give Brooklyn fits because you could put me and you out there and we're going to score 120 on that team. So if you can defend them well and keep them under 120, you got a shot.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we're operating under the assumption that it's Sixers, Knicks, Heat, Nets in the second round.
Man, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun basketball. I tend to question, and I think the reason I would pick Brooklyn probably in the second round is I tend to question Miami's shooting consistency. It hasn't quite been the absolute best. And I think in games that are likely going to be shootouts, that's probably not the best kind of basketball that they can play. But like I said, at the very least, it'll make for high theater, right? And I think it's just going to be really hard. And it's a similar thing to the Lakers, except you're adding another MVP to it. Where I don't think beyond those top 3 players, the Nets are deep or really all that good.
Jeff Green.
Yeah, Jeff Green's playing valuable minutes. Like Landry Shamet is a fine player.
Yeah, they got a bunch of players that you're like, that guy's only good because he's playing on the same court as James Harden type guys.
Yeah.
Steven Smell You Later Spellbinder.
No. Don't you?
Later Spellbinder. Josh,
I don't know.
Everybody.
I tend to be a bit of a, homer to the guys I like. and a hater to the guys I don't like, a little exaggerated. I think Kevin Durant just takes over any series he's in. It'd be hard for me to see him lose that series or anybody guard him. Jimmy Butler, I guess, is the only guy I could think of in the league right now. Maybe Kawhi, that I would say maybe he could guard him.
Yeah, I tend to think it's a question of health mostly.
Yeah.
That.
And honestly, Kyrie hasn't played this well since Cleveland. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He's playing out of this world. James Harden does what James Harden does every night. So it seems impossible. I mean, but if there's a team in the East to do it, I think it's the Heat, to be honest.
Yeah. Josh, we're just here breaking down the early we're talking about the Eastern Conference right now, obviously. Kind of just like mowing through it, not really going too deep into everything. What do you think is assuming the matchups in the second round are Sixers, Knicks, and Heat, Nets? How do you propose? We haven't even gotten into the Sixers Knicks thing yet. We were just talking about like a hypothetical Heat Nets series.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Heat are the 3, right?
Heat are the 6th seed.
6? Who the hell's the 3 in the East?
Milwaukee.
Oh.
So we were operating under the assumption that Miami beats Milwaukee again. We already kind of broke down the fact that I don't quite think it's going to happen.
Okay.
I hate Giannis.
I still tend to err on the side of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But, it's obviously, like I told Austin, we saw it last year, and it's not like things are much different, right? Like, this is a team very clearly that can give Milwaukee all of the fits that it needs to just destroy them defensively.
Especially with a healthy Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy causes some ruckus out there on the court.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but in a hypothetical, how do you propose let's move on to the other series then. How do you propose a Sixers Knicks series goes in the second round there?
I'd love to see the Knicks honestly just make it out of the first round. So that'd be electric. All I'm saying is I hop on the bandwagon, they turn the tides around. Who knows? I just may be New York's best fan. Who's to say?
Possible. You announced your Knicks fandom early in the
might be,
True.
that their owner decided to switch sports.
Their owner decided to stop fucking up the Knicks and start fucking up the Rangers instead.
Yeah.
We love we love Sid.
He was like,
I think that's
like Sid from Toy Story. I'm done playing with you, and moved on to the fucking Rangers instead.
Yeah, the problem is now that they're good, he's gonna want to play with it again.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the Knicks would actually cause some problems for the Sixers if they had Mitchell Robinson healthy. I mean, Nerlens Noel, no disrespect, man's been balling out for the role he's in this year. I think he's averaging over 2 blocks a game, and he's playing well for the minutes he's getting.
Like 24 minutes a game.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they had another big body, I think, to actually play defense on Embiid the entire 40 minutes that Embiid's going to play, yes, but I don't know that – I don't know. I think both teams are really good defensively, and Philly's way better at scoring. Like, if you had to pick the top scoring options for both teams, Philly is miles better, I think. After Julius Randle, it gets real thin, real –
D-Rose, baby.
D-Rose is probably the 2, all the shade thrown at RJ Barrett. Yeah, I don't know. It gets tough.
I think it's actually pretty interesting because I think the Knicks slow the pace down so much, and Ben Simmons cannot play half-court basketball. So it will actually be pretty interesting watching that guy just go like 6 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists every game in that series, because he can't. All he wants to do is push the pace, and the Knicks just shoot mid-range jump shots and then sprint back on defense. It'll be disgusting to watch that Ben Simmons play basketball. So I think you're right. Like, that's a team that could really disturb that offense. But
yeah.
I think it would be fascinating. I'm just not sure the Knicks have, as it sits right now, what it is to be the Joel Embiid equalizer.
Yeah, I don't either.
You see the report.
Also, I don't
that the Knicks are on quote unquote disgruntled star watch this offseason.
Ooh.
That they're gonna be like the preferred destination for whatever angry superstars.
Kind of like, okay.
Like Brooklyn was last year. Yeah.
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 I like that.
There any disgruntled point guards or anything? They kind of need something like that.
Kyle Lowry.
That wouldn't be that bad, to be honest.
Don't look at me like that.
He'd work,
Kyle Lowry's
maybe.
a massive upgrade over what they have at the moment.
Yeah, over Alec Burks and Emmanuel Quickly.
Gross.
He's good for a rookie, but
yeah. I don't know. I can't think of any other like point guard free agents, like point guards that would be on the market this offseason. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Let me see. I'll look it up.
I mean, hell, maybe after the Suns get bounced in the first round, when's Paul's deal over? When's Chris Paul's deal end up?
Spoiler for Josh's West Conference.
He just wants me to be wrong.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
Here, Mike Conley's a free agent this offseason. Kyle Lowry, Chris Paul has a player option that'll probably pick up.
I'd guess.
Dennis Schroeder,
Luka.
Luka Doncic, Patty Mills, Tony Snell. Tony Snell, the man who had the first 50, 50, 100 season in NBA history.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah,
I need that be stopped.
Man,
I've never seen a player of a caliber enough to be able to shoot those percentages just not play any minutes.
just
To
not
actually
play
be able
enough
to do it.
qualify. Yeah,
Like, it seems so crazy.
leave it. I mean, that's a question for Atlanta, I guess. You know. Yeah. Okay. So hypothetically, what are we thinking in terms of the Eastern Conference?
I mean, I'd put like a 90% probability. I see Nets Sixers.
And that's a series. I'll tell you what.
That's a fun series, and that's a Ben Simmons Unleashed series because the Nets' transition defense is dookie.
Is dookie, and I tend to think that Philadelphia has the defense to be able to match up with them well.
That's fun stuff.
You know, even like Matisse Thybulle guarding on the wing. You have Ben Simmons. You have Joel Embiid, who for most of the year was in consideration for Defensive Player of the Year finalists. Like I don't know. I tend to think that even through all the net star power, I think that series easily gets pushed to like 7. Like,
yeah.
I think.
I mean, the Nets have shown they just lose games. I mean, they'll just come out and look dead and just lose. I mean, it's happened a bunch of times, even with everyone playing.
Yeah. I tend to think that even through all of that, the Sixers probably still pull that series out.
I think.
I really want the Sixers to win, but
I think it's so insanely difficult to win a series where the James Harden gets to play against your like secondary guys. Like that's just
like when James
such a
Harden gets the
boost.
second unit, it's gonna be bad.
4 minutes left to go into the first quarter, and a healthy, ripe James Harden comes in, and you're like, "What are we doing here? What's happening now?"
Right, like they pull out the rotation. Kevin Durant finally comes off the court after his first stint halfway through the second quarter, and then James Harden comes sauntering with his fucking dump truck off the bench,
Exactly.
ready to come in with 5 minutes left in the second quarter to drop 30 on your head. Like it's the
and you got Tyrese Maxey out there guarding him.
I mean, that's the other thing for that series in particular. Joel Embiid just has to be the MVP guy.
Yeah, he has to be.
Jeff Green is going to guard him. Griffin is going to.
Well, that's what I'm also kind of double scared about is could small ball just kind of screw over Embiid? Could the pace and just small ball just make him ineffective later in the game? He's tired. I mean, they're playing a crazy scoring 300 points.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or late. I mean, he's not a back-to-back guy. Obviously, they're not playing back-to-backs, but Game 7, at the pace of play these games are going to be at, the whole series, Joel Embiid is, some would say, soft.
If they can sweep They can sweep the 8 seed. Who the hell is that going to be? It's either the Wizards or the Pacers.
Yeah.
You can probably sweep
They
either
could,
of those teams potentially.
they could probably sweep either of those teams, yeah. But
I
then, I mean,
would assume that they wax the Wizards if they play them in the first round. Not just sweep them, but like
Yeah, like 15-point wins every night. Yes.
file things to them. Yeah.
I would love to see that spread because even in a playoff game, but like it's not close. Like there's no reason to make it close.
No, it's not close at all. So are we? I guess we got 3 people here now, so we can think about these hypotheticals in terms of a vote here. I would pick the Sixers over the Nets. Would you guys? I assume both of you were on the other side of that.
I'd take the Nets.
I too would take the Nets.
I love the Sixers, and I feel bad if they lose again. But
As a Miami Heat fan who knows that the Miami Heat live rent free in Joel Embiid's head at literally all hours of every day, I do not like the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they're soft, and I think they're overrated. That being said, I think it ends up, I understand the questions. It really just comes down to conditioning at that point, right? Because I think assuming Joel Embiid can play fresh for an entire 7-game series at that high of a pace,
Yeah.
I don't think this ends well for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I think they're a really bad matchup. They're too good defensively, and they're too good in terms of their offense functioning on the fast break, right? Like that's where the Sixers offense thrives. And if you're going to play against the Nets team who couldn't defend me on the court, it's going to cause
It's
problems.
bad.
You know?
yeah,
It's going to cause real problems.
I was really hoping that the Wizards would have won that first game, so we could have gotten a Nets Wizards series because that would have been fun to watch.
That would have been
I mean,
320 point game
yeah, dude,
single night.
that would have been great. Nobody would have played a defense, and it would have been fine.
Would have been a lick of defense. Play.
we might be watching a Jason Tatum like full-on elite story arc, though. It's gonna be him versus the world. He just scored 50 in the playing game. He's gonna have to score 50.
When's
every
his
single game.
contract up? You want to talk about disgruntled stars? Him and Randall running the down low. I mean, what are we talking about? Disgruntled. I mean,
No, he just signed an extension, did he not?
oh, did he last season? Again, this is my first year with the NBA, basically. So anything more now, I have no clue about. Yeah, I think Mark's not on this episode, so we can talk about how big of a dumpster fire Boston is, regardless of injuries. Like I've seen on the rumor mill about Brad Stevens being fired more than I've ever heard of before. I think it's real. Like it's a real possibility now.
Yesterday that he's not getting fired. So
I think it's
he did?
crazy. I think that's just really weird. I don't know. I think they haven't really given that team a full change of scenery at all. Like they just keep running the same players out there. He coaches them decently well. They finish top 4 usually with barring injuries, and then they just lose, and it keeps happening.
It's almost like they need one singular impact player that's taller than 6'9" or something like that.
Yeah.
No?
They thought that was Ennis Cantor last year, and that didn't pay off.
Tristan Thompson this year.
Yeah.
You know, before they traded away Daniel Tice. Like, they need someone fucking tall at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I know Tice is undersized for the position, but that was an odd move to me.
they had to trade him for Mo Wagner. Yeah. And then just cut Mo Wagner. Like, they make no damn sense.
Yeah.
Big Dumbo.
Western Conference is where we'll move now. Anybody got a score update on that Lakers-Warriors game?
35-28 Golden State.
Also, if
Tough to
anyone's
go on
watching
this
this game, LeBron has complained about 35 calls in a row.
Oh, Mo Harrell.
He just keeps shooting the ball and then looking at the ref with his arms wide. This is insanity. Somebody turn this off before I get a disease.
So is Anthony Davis?
1%.
Wasn't.
What do you got for me? No, okay. Yeah,
I will say.
I told Austin earlier that I think the Grizzlies won for the chance to play the Lakers on Friday night. So I already stuck my claim into how I think the series is going to go, or how I think this game is going to go in particular, because it's happening. So I guess we'll find out, and we'll readjust next week, and we'll bring it up, obviously.
I think that is a better storyline. Yeah.
I mean, I'm here all here for the Steph Curry storyline because this was. Remember last year, he was my MVP pick last year, and because I was like, oh, he's gonna have to put the team on his back without Clay.
Then he pretends to break his hand.
And then he pretends to break his hand so they can get James Wiseman, who doesn't play all this season. And here we are. We have this. This is the season that I said Curry was going to have last year. I'm usually about a year early because remember 2 years ago I said Lonzo Ball was going to win Most Improved Player. And then he didn't have his breakout year until the first half of the season, or last year or 2 years ago I said it was going to be Brandon Ingram. And it happened last year.
2 years ago, I said Embiid was going to have his MVP season.
Yeah,
I'm also ahead of the curve.
He's throwing a base. Dave Martinez got ejected, took the base.
I saw that.
Slammed it on the ground. Go him. Good for him.
Who did this?
Dave Martinez.
Where's he managed?
For the Nationals.
Oh.
Yeah. So good for him. So it's going to be difficult to predict. I tend to think that the Lakers beat the Grizzlies if they play. I'd like to think so. Otherwise, it's time for a major rain check on that Lakers team. If they lose to the Warriors and the Grizzlies in consecutive nights, it's going to be.
Let me tell you.
Look, is that if the 7 seed Lakers end up getting bounced from the playoffs?
I would have had an issue if the Spurs knocked out the Lakers with this whole format because the Lakers went 42-30 and the Spurs went 33-39. That doesn't feel like that can be a play-in game.
Memphis went 500, right?
They went 38-34.
Oh,
fair enough. They did okay.
Steve's got everybody ready to run through a brick wall. Quote from Steve Kerr after the first quarter: "They got a lot of doubt down there. We've got a lot of belief."
It's pretty clear they have a lot of doubt because LeBron will not stop talking to the refs. Anthony Davis already screamed at one. Hear me out. The refs will not let them lose to Memphis.
Probably not. I mean, we'll be honest here. Like, I don't know, man. You can tell this team is desperate.
Yeah.
Lakers?
For sure.
Because, if we're out here, you're losing the Warriors, and your saving grace is LeBron, who's shooting 1 for 30 or whatever it is so far tonight, is just complaining to the refs the whole time and not trying to play better. Then we've got Houston. We have a problem. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's satisfying to see them lose. I don't know why.
Oh, the big 3 there in LA, they just showed us that LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Schroeder with 4 minutes left to go in the first half are combined 2 of 22 from the field.
Oh,
8
good?
points. Is that good? It's not.
Well, yeah, and Curry's not even doing anything crazy yet. So I imagine once that starts happening, this game could get bad.
Yeah.
Because it's not even like Curry's doing that bad. He's 2 of 6, but he's just not even shooting that much or doing that much.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes as the night goes along. But we'll talk about the other 2 series, I guess, because we don't really have too much in terms of what the hell is going to happen with the Jazz and the Suns. The 4-5 matchup in the West is who? The
Clippers and the
Mavs?
Clippers got the 3, I think.
Let me see. I'll look. No, the Clippers.
Actually, no, they're the 4. They lost on the last day.
They lost. I believe I'm of the conspiracy. Purposely lost the last 2 days, so they could avoid playing the Lakers in the second round, which I think is hilarious and also good.
Yeah. They said, and Ty Lue had the greatest quote. He's like, "I don't care what anyone says. We're just trying to get healthy as a team," and we're like, "Oh yeah, I like it. I like it."
So Clippers Mavs. That's super interesting to me, honestly.
I'll be honest. My take on this series is going to be pretty boring for you guys. The Mavs are very inconsistent, and I think the Clippers just rout them.
We're going to get 1, probably 2 of those Luka Doncic games.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't think outside of that, the Mavs have much of a chance. Unless Luka Doncic is playing Superman, everything's right, which he
could. Yeah.
He could. Yeah, I think the Clippers overmatched them. honestly.
I would tend to agree with that. Probably. I mean, yeah. I mean,
If I wanted to be generous, I'd say 6.
I'm gonna say 5.
Gut says 5.
I don't think I could name 5 players on the Mavericks. I got Maxi Kleber, Porzingis, Tim
Oh,
Hardaway,
you get Maxi Kleber and you couldn't get 5?
and Luca. That's it. Is
No.
Dwight Powell still a Maverick?
Yes.
I got 5.
Not Dorian Finney-Smith.
Oh, that's a good
What
one.
about Willie Cauley-Stein, man?
Willie Trill Cauley-Stein.
All right, kid's got the stuff.
He plays for the Mavs.
I got nothing.
Jalen Brunson's actually pretty good.
Sure. What about Nuggets Blazer?
The first game is I'm a big gambling guy, obviously gambling guy of the show. The first game has Nuggets -1 is the spread, and I'm like, I feel like that should be a little higher. Blazers.
I
know
the Blazers in this series. I don't
Do
think
you
the Nuggets
really?
are very good at all.
Aren't they
I
like
think
the
the
hottest team
Nuggets-
since the trade deadline?
They may be. I don't know.
I want to say, even with Jamal Murray going down, they had a crazy record since they got Gordon.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these two are the two teams that are hardest for me to pin down in the playoffs here, because it's like, obviously you have Jokic, who is most likely going to win MVP. You have Michael Porter Jr., who is the man. Generally.
I think they're a pretty well-rounded team. They've always have been.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's weird because they have a superstar. They have one of the 10 best players in the NBA or whatever, and they're a really well-rounded team. But is it just me, or do you guys like not see a series or a sequence of events where like Jokic takes over and drops 50?
Exactly.
Will him over.
I think honestly.
Like, I feel like they're a team that's really good if they're front running.
Yeah, I mean, I think they lost that in Jamal Murray. Like, I think Murray's more likely to have had a 40, 50-point night than Jokic. Because, I mean, he's just a baller. He'd go shoot 30 shots a game if he's feeling it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird how I feel about that. So I could definitely see the Blazers getting, like, super, super hot. Yusuf Nurkic is healthy again, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then I think that, I think I'll take the Blazers in this series.
Yeah, I don't. I'll be honest. Jokic is my Giannis of the East. I don't like him. I don't think he's actually as good as he's made out to be, and I think they're just going to lose in the first round.
You're not.
I think watching him play is really fun. He looks. I don't know if it's effortless or he's just unathletic.
It's unathleticism, but it's that part, right? Like, he's not very athletic, but he is so good.
Yeah, like he'll pull he'll be backing someone down and just kind of do like a Dirk kind of thing like that, and he'll just look bad at it, and you're like, wow, look at how easy.
So much of a Dirk or in his play style of a Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like
facilitating.
Probably, like, in terms of like flashy shit, they're not going to go out and pull anything. But obviously, he's a guy who can go 20-20-20 any night, But I like the Blazers. Yeah, I get behind the Blazers winning the series.
Dame's been there before. Dame's dropping 90 a game.
Yeah,
He scares me.
with CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic healthy.
And don't forget about newly acquired.
Norman Powell.
Yes.
He's actually been very good for them.
Thank you. Isn't he shooting over 40% from 3 this year?
I don't know if he finished,
sound
but
right?
he was close.
But like I mentioned on our midseason award show, one of the most underrated players in the NBA, Norman Powell.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Do they still have Rodney Hood? Or did they trade him?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been everywhere. I think he might be gone.
If they still have him, I know he came up super big for him last year. Now, obviously, he could do it again. But yeah, I could get with taking the Blazers in the first round. Yeah, the Nuggets are just a super, super weird case to me. I don't know. Anywho,
Lakers. Better calm this game down.
Oh, they get
Steph Curry's doing Steph Curry things. And the game's getting out of hand.
Okay, so operating under the pretense that the Warriors win tonight, this is what we'll just go on because this is what we have to base our thoughts on. Do we assume that the Lakers win on Friday against Memphis?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the league allows them to lose, regardless of play.
Yeah, John Morant doesn't play due to an injury. He gets Tanya Harding.
Okay, so assuming that those are the matchups that we're rocking with, how do you feel about a Warriors-Suns first-round matchup?
Oh,
I'm unlucky.
I think the Suns just win.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Steph Curry's story, the Warriors' story, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think the Suns just are the better team. They defend better. They do everything better. They're way more balanced of a team. Who the hell guards DeAndre Ayton? Juan Toscano Anderson?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Kevon Looney?
Even though I was right about this whole Chris Paul thing,
Chris Paul's soft.
Chris Paul's not soft. You guys can, unless you don't feel comfortable leaving me alone at your house. If he wants to go home, you can take him home. I'm not gonna be hurt about it.
No, I'll wait.
I'll take him home.
All right, so yeah, I don't know. I think I've come full circle, and I think the Suns are the best team in the West.
I'd reckon. I wouldn't hate that.
As a resident Utah Jazz hater, I agree.
Damn, why you gotta hate the Utah Jazz?
Dude,
Rudy Gobert stinks.
He does not stink.
Okay, I'm not at that, but at some point, the 40% 3-point shooters on the team will be soft, and we'll have a cold night or in a series and just lose.
No, I think you're right. I think the Jazz are a team that everything has to click. And
yeah,
regular season it did for the entire regular season.
Yes.
Everything has to go right. You know, they can't really have like an off shooting night and find a way to win elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I think the Warriors are gonna give them hell. I think Steph Curry is gonna.
We'll get a couple. I think it's similar to the Doncic series where you're gonna get the Steph Curry nights. And maybe even Steph Curry could win a series, but
yeah, no, I think the Warriors are more likely to upset the Suns than the Mavs are to upset.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if I were to bet like 5 games in the Clippers series, I'd probably put this on 6. Maybe Steph can force a 7.
Yeah, no, I think we're good for probably 2 of those Steph Curry games at least. And if they, one of them could still result in a loss, but it's going to be hard. For Steph Curry to play like that and for them to lose. So I end up picking the Suns, but I think that's my most anticipated series of the first round. In the Western Conference at least.
Since placing our futures MVP bet on Steph Curry, rooting for Steph Curry is a lot more fun than rooting against Steph Curry.
Yeah, it's almost like you root for players who play well or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, but rooting for the demise is just as fun normally sometimes. But this guy is just a flood of energy.
Not really. I don't know. I tend to not root for players to fail, generally speaking. But yeah,
True.
I do.
And then Lakers Jazz.
I mean,
with what's going on tonight,
all leading up to this playing game, I was all in on the Lakers just going on a dumb run and this being the worst playoffs I've ever watched. Now I'm. They look stinky.
On the opposite. Not that I think the Lakers will make a deep run. We'll get to that, but I don't know. I feel like the Lakers have it in them to win the first series.
Yeah.
The third 8 seed to win a playoff series,
which would be such a scam 8 seed, the defending champs.
Yeah, I don't
know what happened. So, who would be does it reseed or no? They don't. So they'd play the winner of what? The 1-8
4-5.
They play the winner of the 4-5. They play the winner of the Clippers and the Mavs.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a super weird series to me. That seems like the series that's somehow the most lockish to go 7 games.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I don't know how to pick it that I'm just saying that
Yeah.
off my head. Because we're gonna get the games where LeBron scores 45 and they win by 30. And then we're gonna get the games where they don't show up and the Jazz win by 30. And I think it's just gonna be alternating shots, and whoever wins game 1 wins the series,
Yeah. Is there going to be a time when Alex Caruso is guarding a vengeance-ridden Jordan Clarkson?
Or Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell are we
Yeah, I
talking
mean, you could say what you want, but Alex Caruso is the only guy who's shown up tonight. What does he have, 15 points? The rest of his team has 25? I mean, this is disgusting.
Curry just hit a buzzer-beating 3 at the half. They're up 13 at half right now.
Yeah, Alex Caruso also seems to be the only one that gives a shit about playing consistent defense on that team. So,
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, Anthony Davis.
Residence Utah hater here. I think Utah might just roll this dog team. The Lakers look pathetic. They look like they're not even trying.
Where they get rolled or where the Lakers get rolled. I just can't. I don't know.
I wonder if this is some weird thing. Like, obviously, they're not throwing the game. I'm not going to say that. Well, like, if it's something...
would rather play Utah than Phoenix. Is that where you're going on?
I
don't know.
So
I don't
risky.
know. It's so risky, but I think it's like their backs aren't against the wall because they know that they have one more game. So
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, usually I laugh when announcers say, like, they just wanted it more, but, like, watching this game is...
They literally. Yes.
One team wants to win this game.
Yeah. Which is why, look, man, I'm not in on all the Steve Kerr slander that's been thrown around in the last decade. That man is one hell of a coach.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach.
Have shown that pretty clearly. What? Sure.
Man.
You're on the show.
Yeah, that's John.
Whip it out.
Whip it out.
Hey, Johnny.
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Not much. How you doing?
You doing? I know that kid.
He's gonna pull his meat out.
Dude, fuck yes.
Yeah, why is the rule?
I mean,
Johnny.
Do we even have coherent enough thoughts on this to have a semifinals like we did for the East?
No.
Well, I think we agreed that it would be Clippers.
Because I think Josh has the Nuggets, I'd assume.
In the first round, yeah, but then probably the Suns beat whoever it is, I'd guess.
It would be cool. Well, Austin and I picked the Blazers. So in terms of the hot stove predictions, we would go with Clippers, Blazers, Suns. And I guess the Jazz. Like, I'm still leaning.
I think the Jazz. I think the Lakers are just shot. Like, this is just not the year.
I would take the Lakers in the first round against the Jazz. I don't know.
I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah.
But
I can
I'll
root
be
against
honest, I don't
LeBron.
think it matters to me. I think the Clippers would beat either of them.
No, yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end up here. I think
Maybe, like,
beat whatever team.
when was the last time LeBron was beaten not in the finals in the playoff?
Never.
Never.
Like, what, his rookie year?
Cleveland against the Celtics?
It was like his third year in the league or second year in the league or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I'm not going to root against LeBron James in the first round.
You're not gonna bet against him. What you're gonna say.
Huh?
So you're not gonna bet against him. What you're gonna say? I assume, knowing you, that you would root against him. Yeah.
I don't mind him. I don't mind LeBron's Lakers. LA LeBron, I don't mind it. You know, man.
LeBron is easily the softest LeBron. Like, there have been many eras of LeBron. It's been like Twink LeBron. This is how I break it down. Early Cleveland was Twink LeBron. Then you have Miami, which is villain LeBron.
Yep.
And then return to Cleveland is Tank LeBron because he bulked up to like 280 pounds. And then now it's baby LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not loving this whole.
I'm not loving Lakers LeBron either.
Yeah.
I loved first Cavs stint LeBron, but this LeBron sucks.
Obviously, I was here for Miami LeBron, and I was definitely here for Tank Redemption LeBron in the second stint in Cleveland. Certainly here for that.
Pretty much, yeah. You could ride with LeBron at all assets of his career except for this one. It's hard for most, but I'm just
Yeah.
just wanting to go somewhere and just ride off into the sunset of probably one of the most storied.
Oh, I certainly don't begrudge it. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I tend to think the Lakers probably have it in them to win the first series, and maybe I'm underestimating the Jazz in that sense. But like I said, I tend to think the Clippers beat whoever in the second round.
Yeah, I think that'd be wild, the LA series. And it'd be especially wild for the Clippers to beat the Lakers.
Did they play all 7 games of the
The thing is that'd be 7 away games in a row if that goes 7 for the Clippers. That's brutal. I mean, that's brutal.
You think
It's almost unfair.
Yeah. No.
They would have to vet. They would have to vet somehow and say, "Who are you a fan of? We need Clippers fans in this building."
We need Clippers. They can't just change the court out and call it a day. It's just going to be the same crowd. But yeah, I think the Clippers in the second round over either.
I would also.
And then in the hypothetical here, we're looking at Blazers Suns. That sounds like a hell of a series. Like that might be the most fun series that we're predicting so far. That might be, aside from a hypothetical Nets Wizards series, that would be a series where, let's just say, the point totals would be high in that Phoenix Portland series.
Yeah, I'd reckon.
I would love to see a Damian Lillard Paul George rematch.
Oh boy! Oh my goodness! So he can chuck up that same shot again, and I can hear all the basketball people tell me that it was lucky. Yeah, or like that whole argument I had with Connor about it after it happened, on that very same pretense. That it's not lucky if you're good at it.
I mean, yeah, he just makes those.
Yeah, like it's actually pretty simple. Like, sure, in that sense, any basketball shot is lucky if you're really going.
Yeah.
You know. But what do you think? What do you think happens in a Suns with?
I, for some reason, think the Blazers could either lose in the first round badly or actually just make the conference finals. So I think I'd like them in that series. I just like Damian Lillard. I like that team.
Is Dame Dallas secured in Portland? Is he there for the long haul? Could he?
The guy's just looking for his new Knicks point guard.
I really am.
No, Dame Dollar is there for at least a few more years.
All right. Dang.
And he has also been very vocal about the fact that he is not interested in leaving Portland.
Very well.
I think that might be one of the series where I could see it going many which ways.
Yeah.
I'm not confident about either.
I could see a situation where the Suns clamp down and win in like 5 because I think they're clearly the better defensive team.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a situation where they get into a track meet and the Blazers win in 5. I could see a situation where it's back and forth and it goes 7. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But I tend to think that I usually, in this kind of thing, I side with the best players to play in big moments. Like, it's the same thing. It's the why I always talk about with the NCAA tournament. Most of the time, driven by best players are going to end up winning out in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think Damian Lillard is the best player in that series. And the biggest X factor in that series, right? Like, can you think about it this way? Can you see a game where, and yes, you can see it for Devin Booker. He has scored 70 in a game beforehand. But can you see a game where Devin Booker's shot isn't really falling and Chris Paul takes over and scores 45 or even DeAndre Ayton? Like, I could see a situation where Dame's shot isn't falling. CJ McCollum scores 45.
Yeah.
Also, there's something to be said about the Blazers. Can you really see a close game in the fourth quarter that they lose?
They're certainly a team of closers. That's for certain.
It's so hard to imagine. Like, I mean, Chris Paul hits clutch shots, but will Chris Paul pull up for 3 and in someone's mouth to win that game. I don't know.
Now, when
I
it
don't
gets
know.
into a 3-point contest, there's one person you want on your team in that series, and it's Dame Doll.
And it's Norman Powell.
So Blazers Clippers, a 4-6 matchup in the Western Conference Finals.
So strange. A 4-6 matchup, and it could easily be a 7-8.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, LeBron James, and the. No, I mean,
We somehow got to the point where we're repeating tonight's game for 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. I'll start to believe that the NBA is rigged.
Whoa.
If we get to that point, I might start believing that this league is fixed. Because that would be ridiculous.
Honestly, I'm just too big of a homer these days. I have the Clippers just stomping their way through these soft playoffs.
I mean, I think I don't know. I tend to think the Clippers have the talent to do that. But they got to show me something first, you know? I still kind of have a sour taste in my mouth after last postseason.
After choking to the.
Do you like a sweet taste in your mouth?
No.
I can give you.
No.
Okay.
No. But so like, and maybe by the time we get through the first 2 rounds or whatever, and if they're in the Western Conference Finals, I'll feel different. Not that I would pick them to lose to the Blazers. I think in a vacuum, I think the Clippers are just talented enough to win that series in probably 6 games, I'd say. Because again, it's similar to the Steph Curry thing. You're due for at least one of those Dame Dollar games where he goes out and wins and scores 55.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're due for one of those a series, you know. And it's not like that. This Blazers team hasn't been there before. They went to the Western Conference Finals a few years ago, right? The last year the Warriors won the championship.
They go every year.
Warriors championship.
Yeah.
One of those the Blazers went to the Western Conference Finals, because they got ass blasted by the Warriors that year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it might have been the last year the Warriors won a championship.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, 2018, whatever, maybe. So, like I said, I tend to think the Clippers win. But like I said, any series, I'm just happy for playoff basketball. Any of these series gets me rock hard with emotion. You know?
I feel like we're way less top heavy and way more depth to these playoffs than before.
Well, because
I mean, Warriors, LeBron.
It's basically the Lakers' fault. Like, if the Lakers had shown any semblance of consistency this year, we'd probably be thinking very differently about these playoffs.
Yeah.
You know. But now that the reigning champion is there's a possibility for them not to make the playoffs, and the reigning Eastern Conference champion is the 6th seed, plus adding whatever the fuck is happening in Brooklyn right now, I think it makes the playoffs a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
And that leads us to a Sixers Clippers NBA championship. Which seems to be, in my early estimation, just thinking about it right now, is one of like the least interesting options, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you could get Nets, Lakers.
Yeah, not that series would bore me. It would be good basketball. But like it certainly doesn't have the glamour of many other matchups that you could possibly have.
I think the Sixers really just are the ones who just have no. Guys, they run through a big man and your point guard doesn't shoot threes, you're not going to be a fun team.
That's true.
I feel like Embiid's just been oddly quiet as of late. Maybe I'm outside of basketball world by too much, but like
not in his play. He's been playing very well down the stretch.
No, yeah, just on his normal trash talk game.
Yeah,
been pretty soft. So maybe I don't know. That's just leaving it as less of a build. Obviously, I'm sure if he's in the NBA Finals, he's going to call Paul George a pussy or something. But I mean,
he's going to call him, instead of like playoff P or pandemic P, he's going to call him pussy P.
Yeah.
I can get with that. I don't know. I think. Oh, Doc Rivers coaching against his former. Never mind. There's storylines there. Doc Rivers coaching against the Clippers in the NBA Finals. Sheesh. I can get with that.
I go with that.
And it's a real
Okay.
fight down moment for Ty Lue to prove that he's like actually a good coach as well.
I have no.
Yeah,
clue.
making it-
That series for me isn't even worth predicting. I feel like it's so even.
We've gotten this far, we kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
Weird to end the podcast on just like and then we
Clippers Nets.
no Clippers Sixers.
Clippers Sixers.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I could never see. I just don't see the Sixers doing it. I don't see the process completing. I don't see their bum point guard doing anything but bum things.
It would be kind of beautiful in a way if the process never really came to fruition. It's just, and again, maybe that's just me rooting against people, Nunez. That's kind of
Well, I
but, like,
think I'm of the opinion that the process has already worked. You know,
yeah, I mean, sure.
championship notwithstanding, like this is what the process was intended to do. Was to, at the very least, because like I mentioned earlier, there's at least a semblance of luck with any championship run, right?
Yeah.
Which means that there's a semblance of unluckiness every time you don't win a title. You know, unless you're like the 8th seed getting destroyed in the first round or something like that. So I tend to think that the process has worked. They're a perennial contender. With a few tweaks, even moving forward, they can be that dominant force that you'd be looking for.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I don't know where I would go to predict that series.
I like my boy Kawhi.
Yeah,
to
I
lead
just
the
can't.
charge.
Yeah,
I think Kawhi would pull it off again. And I really love, I don't know, again, this may just be me watching too many West Coast games, gambling at night, but I love the Clippers secondary squad. Reggie Jackson, who I know now starts when Bev's out or whatever, but Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, like leading the charge in the back. I love watching that.
and then
And
Nick
they-
Batum coming in to
Nick
that?
Batum's elite.
Yes. I love it. I love their second squad. So I'd root for the Clippers in that series.
I probably think the Clippers win. I think
What do you think about Clippers Nets? Does that change anybody's mind?
A little bit.
I don't know.
I'm not sure it changes the outcome, but I think it changes the way that outcome happens. Because I think the Nets are more high variance, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think
Sixers are going to be more of an even test.
yes, Sixers are going to be more consistent for sure.
There's something in the West that just preaches defense. There's like 2 good defensive teams in the East, and I'd say pretty much for the most part, 5 or 6 teams out West are all better than those
Yeah.
2 teams in the East.
And imagine it this way: the 2 good defensive teams in the East, like truly good, and I think the Sixers are good. So maybe 3 of the 3 good defensive teams in the East are the 1 seed, the 4 seed, and the 6 seed.
Who's the 6? Oh, the Heat. I forgot about the Heat. My bad. Yeah, so there's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel super confident about any of these picks, and we'll keep talking through it as the playoffs go. Obviously, because we need content.
Yeah.
But right now, based on what we've talked through, I think my early postseason prediction lies with the Los Angeles Clippers winning their first NBA.
Mine does as well.
I'd probably pick the Nets at this point if I had to.
Yeah.
I'm a bandwagon. Who
So
cares?
outside of the like, had you not followed the because I know this is what Josh just did. Had you not followed the like hypotheticals that we've been working through, would you still pick the Clippers to win?
I mean, if I had to bet on one team, it would be the Nets. But I think the Clippers, they're pretty much a lock in my mind to get out of the West, and I don't know why, but in my head, I just think they're going to have the easiest road, and I just think they just got it all. I don't know what they don't have.
Yeah.
That I just feel like there's too many teams that are playing crazy inconsistently that I think the Clippers just do fine.
Yeah,
Dude.
I think if I had to place one singular bet, and I might actually do it because I got to look at I want to look at the lines here. Might place a Josh. Can you pull up the lines, the NBA championship lines here?
Austin might have a better shot. My book where Austin knows how to get to those. Austin, give me the lines on it.
Yeah, somebody could tell me the lines here for the NBA championship before we head into the playoffs here. I might give you best bet.
Well, you pull that up. There's the lineup that the Lakers have right now on the court is Schroeder. I want to say it's KCP, number 1. Is that him? KCP? LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Andre Drummond. And like I'll just see that and I'm like, how does that team not just run away with games? Like 2 years ago, they're all All-Stars, right?
Dennis Schroeder and KCP haven't made All-Star games.
Or sorry, not KCP. Didn't Schroeder get an All-Star game once? Or no?
I don't think so. He might have gotten one of his years in Atlanta, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't get any championship odds up right now.
Then
I think they're all waiting for these playing games to end because they don't know what the seeding's gonna look like.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'd say the Clippers might be the best bet if you wanted to place a bet on the NBA Finals. Like I can't imagine.
They'll probably because I know the Lakers are the favorites in the West.
And then the Nets probably.
And then I think the Clippers might be the second best in the West though.
If that's the case, then I might want to place an outside.
Suns?
Like put a tenner
I
down.
think the Suns are the 4th. I think they're behind Utah.
Best bet here might put a tenner down on Portland. See what happens, you know?
Portland might be last.
Exactly.
Yeah, they honestly might have the worst odds in the West.
Exactly. That's kind of
I think you're putting a tenner down on the Pacers.
Probably the Mavericks.
well, yeah, sure. The Pacers probably have the longest odds.
Because one of us here guaranteed the Pacers to the finals if they got Karis LeVert, and they did.
Austin, you didn't say that.
No, I did. When they got Karis LeVert, I said every viewer right now, money back guarantee, bet on the Pacers to go to the NBA Finals.
He did.
I don't remember.
But Miles Turner got hurt. TJ Warren never came back.
I placed that bet.
This kid, no, you didn't. This can't be held accountable. Okay.
Can't be held responsible.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm a Clippers homer. Go Clippers.
that kind of ends our combo here, I guess.
Did we talk about our FanDuel lineups? Did I miss that?
Austin, did you do a FanDuel lineup?
I did.
Did you put John Daly in your FanDuel lineup?
I did.
Okay. So
Did you see? Sorry.
what were you gonna say?
See, tomorrow's 8:30 featured group that I'm going to be watching in spin is JT, Rory, and Brooks.
Oh,
That's their first booking of a group. That is going to be amazing.
All right, so we did FanDuel lineups for the PGA Championship starting tomorrow, with one caveat. Each of the four of us put John Daly in our lineup. Now, it's not going to go well. John Daly's played in one tournament this year. It was Pebble Beach, and he went 13 over. Shocker, he missed the cuts. But anyways, for the culture, we're putting John Daly in the lineup here. Josh and Austin, why don't you go first and tell me who the rest of your lineup is?
All right, so I'll go first. I went with the obviously the John Daly pick, and then I got three pretty good golfers that I think have legit shots to win it. One who I saw was a best bet who I like, and one bum. Now, first off, I went with JT. JT's probably my pick to win the weekend. He's a pretty popular pick. I liked him in Augusta, and he just hasn't gotten there. Still hasn't won a major yet. This is a good one to crack through on. So I hope.
PGA Championship a major?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was this or the Players. That was like the fifth major.
Yep, the Players. So I got him, Rory, coming off a win. I don't like it, but coming off a win last weekend,
And it was
he's
his
playing.
first win in like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, and he's playing pretty dang good. So went with Rory. And my other, just like I like him. He's consistent. He actually missed the cut, I think, last weekend, so not so consistent. But John Rahm up here. I don't know. Like, what notes do you give on a top 10 golfer in the world? What am I supposed to say here? My outside pick to win it all that I saw was on SVP the other day. Beam me up, Scotty Scheffler. I got Scotty at 9,500. That's a great value pick, I think, for a guy who's very consistent and has good ball striking ability at a tough course. It's going to be windy is basically the thing that I've heard. So not too big of a long shot, or long driver. So should be okay to find them fairways and greens. And then my last pick, of course, everyone's favorite Nazi was kept out of my lineup because not only was he was the same price as this guy, but he hasn't played since his miracle run at Augusta 2 months ago almost, or over a month ago. And I don't like that. I don't like being out of the game for that long. So I went with Barstool's favorite, Joel Dahman. When he's on, and he can play pretty well and stay under par for the most part. He could also just miss the cut by 8 strokes, but who's to say, man? He's 7,700. We like to have fun here. So that's my lineup.
Wow.
All right, Austin, tell me your
Nice
lineup.
lineup. We got some duplicates here. JT and Rory playing great golf. Gotta have them. Another guy who's been playing great golf all year. My favorite golfer, Jordan Spieth. Love him. The most betted player to win so far of all sports books. That's fun fact. My fourth guy, another expensive guy, 10-5, Webb Simpson. He's playing great golf. He's scoring a lot of fantasy points. He's a bum though. He's probably gonna suck, but you gotta pay up and pray, Then of course, my next best golfer, my fifth best golfer, John Daly.
That's your fifth best.
My fifth best golfer, John Daly, averaging 4.4 points per game, 0 for 1 on cuts. Then my sixth best golfer, Brian Gay. For 7,000, we got Brian Gay heading to the course. Coming off a pretty good Valspar championship where he did miss the cut, but he shot only 2 over. So maybe we could get a repeat performance where he just, doesn't make the cut, because if he makes the cut, he's going to shoot 12 over on Saturday. So we're just hoping he shoots barely misses the cut. Barely. That's my stud lineup.
All right, my lineup is going to win. I have John Daly at 7,000. Then I did have the balls to take everyone's favorite Nazi, Bert Weisberger, at 7,800. After that, run at Augusta. Hasn't played 2 months. He's fresh. He's ready to go and ready to win his first major. Then I have also another repeat here, Webb Simpson. Guy's a bum, but who cares?
There you go, baby.
Then I have Brooks Koepka. I feel like he's 900 years old and also 27 at the same time. When was the last time? Has Brooks only won 1 major? He's won a couple.
Yeah. No, he's won 2.
Okay. Well, it's been a while.
Like 4.
He's overdue. Then we got world number 1, Dustin Johnson at 11,700.
Can't hate that.
And then
he got 4.
He's 4 now?
2 at the US Open, 2 at the PGA Championship.
Oh.
18 and 19.
18 and 19 PGA Championship for Brooks Koepka?
That's right.
Oh yeah. Did they play it last year?
Yeah, Morikawa won.
Yeah, it was in San Francisco.
All right, cool. Give me Brooks Koepka on the comeback tour, ready to win his 3rd PGA Championship, and then I got.
Can I tell you actually why that's a bad pick? Because Brooks Koepka has been playing lefty more than righty recently. Just fun fact for you.
Funsies, right?
Yeah, he's gonna play Portnoy in a lefty contest because Portnoy's a lefty. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of lefty practice, not a lot of righty.
Also, that I finished 5th out of 297 in my baseball contest tonight. Won $7. So.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, we'll take that. Anywho, those are our golf lineups. That'll do it for the show. In terms of housekeeping stuff, make sure to follow us on Twitter at HotStovePod. That's at HotStovePod on Twitter. Here on the YouTube side, make sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell as well, and leave a comment if you feel like commenting. For the other co-hosts who actually showed up tonight, I am your host, Zack Nunez. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Hot Stove Podcast. See you guys later.